tonight, former Democratic Party Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz digging an even deeper hole for herself by saying she was right not to fire an IT aide after she was warned he was under criminal investigation. Joining me now to talk about this growing scandal is Congressman Ron DeSantis, who wants the Attorney General to investigate. All right, good evening, Congressman. Let me start by asking you, what are the facts so that my viewers have a real handle on where we're going with this?
It's a real odd situation, Judge. You have this guy, Imran Awan, his wife, two of his brothers, one of the brothers' wives, and then one of their friends had been employed by various Democrats at very high salaries for a number of years. Over the years they were employed, they took in $4 million from American taxpayers. The problem is one, they were just being paid what a chief of staff would be paid, which is odd. None of us do that for any IT support we need. The other thing is some of these guys were never even seen around the House of Representatives. One of the brothers was working at McDonald's, another one was working at some car company, and so they may have been basically no-show jobs. So it's an awful lot of money, and the question is why? And then obviously Imran and his brothers were suspected of unauthorized access of sensitive information because they had access to these members' accounts who were on the Foreign Affairs Committee, who were on the Intelligence Committee. So you have a bilking of the taxpayer potentially, you have potential procurement fraud issues with some of the equipment they had access to, and then the information that they had. What did they do with that? Because Imran has sent hundreds of thousands of dollars in wire transfers to Pakistan. His wife fled to Pakistan recently with $14,000 in cash. So this is not normal behavior,
okay.
Judge.
All right, that sounds pretty criminal to me, but that's because I'm a prosecutor. But $4 million for no-show jobs, some of them, and an IT staffer being paid what a chief of staff is paid, and then this guy Inwan, or whatever his name is, Awan, ends up being arrested on his way to Pakistan after he had just wired $300,000, $283,000 to be exact, with $9,000 cash on him, just under that $10,000 limit. I mean, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, now she says, well, I wasn't going to let him go. And she says, because it would have been easier to fire him despite the fact that I had not received any evidence of his wrongdoing. What makes this woman think that she deserves evidence of wrongdoing? If there's a criminal investigation, she thinks she should have that information?
Not only that, but his access to the network was suspended at that point. So this is a guy who you're paying a handsome salary to for IT support, but yet he's denied access, so he physically cannot even perform those duties anymore, and yet he was still raking in money from the taxpayer. And really, even if he had gone to Pakistan and the FBI had not arrested him, presumably he was still going to get paid at that point. His pay was only stopped once he actually got arrested.
All right, so what are we doing with this? We've been hearing about this for several weeks. This week you sent a letter to the Attorney General. What are you requesting?
So as of the time of the arrest, Imran and his family members had about $1 million in pending real estate transactions, and it's easier to wire money to a place like Pakistan if it's the proceeds of a real estate transaction than if it was just cash in your bank account. So I've asked Sessions if they are planning on freezing the proceeds of those sales. I think given the facts of the case, they probably can do that, but I think it's important because we don't know where this money is going. He has been linked, and his family members have been linked to an Iraqi politician that had some Hezbollah ties. So it's not clear to me that this is not something that implicates our national security. So you have to err on the side of caution when you're talking about large sums of money like that going to Pakistan.
When I compare this, Congressman, to what we're hearing about Russian collusion, there is so much evidence that a prosecutor can take and present to a grand jury. But let me ask you this. When can I report to my viewers that the Debbie Wasserman Schultz case is being reviewed by Congressional Oversight and Reform? This woman is a Congresswoman. When can we find out when your ethics committees are going to be working on this and investigating it? When are we going to do this?
Yeah, so there's this criminal case against Imran. We don't know whether that's going to reach any of the members. It's possible it does. There's been an ethics committee complaint filed against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I think the Ethics Committee is going to have to make a decision on that soon. Obviously, there's some serious questions from an ethical standpoint. And
Forget
then we in the Congress...
This woman didn't fire the guy when everybody else did. We've got no-show jobs. This is, you know, prima facie criminal activity. Real fast, because I got to go.
Well, and then the House, we have to investigate what information these guys took, where did they send it, and was our security or the integrity of the House jeopardized by their access to that information.
Congressman Ron DeSantis, thanks so much for being with us.